I just felt like I had to bring this to the world because my Git did great, and he did great with an off-the-wall list. So right here we have Brandon Deamer. And remember, this is a straight-up big, legit event, you guys, with 6 games. So let's see what our boy's list is. Oops, our boy Brandon's list. Brandon's list is a Dread Mob. Now, for this Dread Mob list, he kept it nice and simple. He has 3 mechs. 1 is the Warlord. 2 units of minimum size Gretchen. 2 Boomdaka Snaz Wagons, which I actually really like seeing those on a list. Different use for buggies. You know, everybody can kind of appreciate that. 1 Death Dread with big Shootas and 2 Dread Claws. I love that he didn't really care. He was just like, whatever, Death Dread's here to just get attention and die. A Gorkanaut, a mech gun because he had 50 points left over, and a Bubba Chukka is super fun. And then a Morkanaut, followed by just a simple Stompa. So yes, Brandon bought a Stompa to a 6-round event and went 4-2. He is living your dream. And then 1 Storm Boys unit. So shout out to Brandon. Let's take a look at real quick at what he went into. Of course, there's not a ton of depth into this because it is straight up a Stompa, which to a certain extent is a stat check. But let's take a look at some of the things he was able to overcome and lose to. And we'll do this one quick because I actually still have 2 more lists to go over. So as for his first matchup, he went into Tyranids. So people were asking what's going on with Tyranids. Playing Dread Mob, or specifically playing a Stompa, helps you deal with the Dread Tyranids. Okay, we have a Hive Tyrant, Neural Tyrant, the Swarm Lord, followed by Termagant, Biovore, Exocrine, Neural Lictor, Norn Assimilator, Norn Emissary, Psychophage, Ripper Swarm, Tyrant Guard, and Zoan Throat. So I'm sure this person was feeling a bit thick, you know, with the Norm Emissary and a Norm Assimilator, right? He's like, playing Tyranids. I got my Swarm Lord, got my Hive Tyrant on foot. Let's go. I'm feeling pretty awesome here. And then he has his own throw. See, like I could pop some transports. This was very much a Tyranid had one shot here. His one shot is I have to get all of my damage between my Exocrine, my Norn Emissary, not even the Norn Emissary because he has to stand there. Pretty much my zone throws, and my Exocrine after one shot that Stompa, or he's just straight killing me. And here's the thing, they wouldn't unless they get lethal wounds, most likely. They wouldn't be able to just straight up kill him like that. Making him fail a battle shock test so the army can get +1 to wound to them would greatly help. But if he passes, considering he has his own aura of +1 leadership, he might have been okay on even taking battle shock tests. Not to mention, in return, something like a Norn Emissary or Norn Assimilator are still getting 100% shot off the table by a Stompa. Not to mention, you have a Gorkanaut and a Morkanaut running around the table on that list. You're punching them out with damage 6. It feels really good. That kind of matchup would be a dream when you're playing a Stompa, just to be honest. And shout out to him for crumping Tyranids because they deserve it. Today's sponsor, Baron of Dice. So Baron of Dice has great dice. They have actually enabled us to give these dice out for our paint competitions. So I greatly advise that you go out there. We have a link in the description for 5% discount. That's, of course, because nobody likes taxes. Shout out to the Baron of Dice because they are actually customizing orc dice just for us that you guys will be able to get a hold of, and they look exceptional. So shout out to Baron of Dice. Really appreciate you guys, and I really do suggest you get them. I love the actual texture these dice have. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then we have his second matchup, which is one of the games he lost, which wouldn't surprise anybody considering it's Blood Angels, Sons of Sanguinius. So we have a captain with the jump pack with Artisan of War, Mr. Lemartis, who's just a great profile. Sanguinary Priest on jump pack, Sanguinary Priest on jump pack because Final Feel No Pains are super addictive. 1, 2, 3 units of Assault Intercessors, followed by 1 Ball Predator, a big unit of Death Company Marines with jump packs, another big unit of Death Company with jump packs. Oh, sorry, wrong. 1 big unit of Death Company Marines with jump pack, and then 2 Death Companies with jump packs, 5-man units. Infiltrator, Scout, Vanguard Veterans with jump packs, another Vanguard Veteran with jump packs. These are the guys that get the Sanguinary Priest. The other characters go with the Death Company's jump pack guys. Those guys are the Suicidal Missiles. These guys are the ones who are meant to survive and also still do great damage. The real trick here is that you can pretty much feed one of these jump pack units to stage, run at either Gorkanaut, Morkanaut, get Lance being at strength 8 and just straight up punching out with minus, with his damage 2. Good chance of doing that. Even an Infernal Pistol feels kind of good. Assault Intercessors can run in, do mortal wounds with their actual data sheet ability. You could throw a grenade to chip them down and then have your unit punch them out. Of course, you're only getting up to strength 6, which in this case doesn't really work, but volume of fire still helps. Volume of punches still works. So not surprised, you could just stage against those kind of big 3 Titanic guys and jump out and punch them to death, which is most likely what happened. And Hamdog said, Sanko's secret, the anti-tank, anti-Tyranid meta. Tech meta confirmed? Yes. If you're playing with Tyranid players, bring your Stompa, and they would feel bad, to be honest. Yeah, pretty much. So then we have the third matchup is Adeptus Mechanicus. So imagine Belisarius calls just sitting there like, so I have these great tech plans, and then I have, what is that? Is that a big human in a skirt? So imagine just being AdMech player and seeing a Stompa just like, look at this effigies I have brought to the table that is making a mockery of your gods, and then you just destroy them. So we have Skitarii Marshal, a tech priest manipulus, 1-2 rangers, a vanguard, 1-2 vanguard, 2 dune riders. Here we go. Oh, he only has 2 twin las cannons and 1 auto cannon. These are respectable because they reroll wounds into the Stompa, but that's just not enough to kill him. We have a doom crawler, the sterilizers, sulphurous hounds, a bit pricey, but sulphurous hounds are pretty cool. They have like flamers and their cavalry. Infiltrators, rust stalkers, pretty good for like little skirmishes. Pretty expensive though for 150 points, but they do have 2 wounds each, I guess, and they're pretty fast. Scorpius Disintegrator, Inquisitorial Henchman. As you can see, an army of T12 and up with being able to have one of them has the Death Storm Cannon and a bunch of flamers and sweeping punches. It's only -1 AP, but that works fine into this army. Is just not having enough to deal with this. Shout out to Adeptus Mechanicus for getting walked over by the orcs because he put up 100 nasty. Then we have his fourth matchup, which is another loss, and he did deal with the Tau, which not surprising, right? There's kind of some of those matchups where you're gonna have a hard time if you're bringing big stompy stuff, and Tau is one of them. So we have Fireblade, Cadre Fireblades, 1, 2, 3, followed by a commander in a battle suit. 1, 2, 3 breachers, which are excellent infantry. 1, 2, 3 pathfinders because you really need to put a marker on some get, followed by 2 units of minimum stealth troop suits. These guys are good infiltrators, kind of positioning around the table, move blocking pressure units on the side flank lanes, or even just scoring secondaries. 2 units of Vespids, which is their version of jetpack get, and then a Crisis Sunforged battle suit, triple hammerheads, all with accelerator burst cannons, and then triple devilfish, which are very, very good transports. Even expensive, but they have good offensive potential and defensive potential, a dumb amount of wounds. But what I wanted to show you real quick here is the hammerhead gunship. So you can see it does have a rail cannon, but that player didn't bring them, as we just seen. He brought the ion cannon, which is 6d6 plus 3 attacks, hitting on 4s, minus strength 8, -2, flat 3 damage. Each time this monster makes a hit against a monster vehicle, add 1 to the hit roll. So he's hitting on 3s natively. He can re-roll one of the shots or re-roll one of the wounds. And yeah. And then he has the ability to... Sorry, I'm making sure I'm missing something here. Yeah, you can replace with ion cannon. Make sure I'm missing something. For the detachment rule, if you're not familiar with Tau, because you don't have toxic players, I'm just kidding. Tau players. He pretty much, they get all assault ability, but then if you hit something with guided, like we see from those Pathfinders, now you have lethal. You would really, especially against the Stompa, want to counter that with this strat of pinpoint counter offensive. 1 Tau unit from your army that was just destroyed can use this stratagem even though it's destroyed until the end of the battle. Each time a Tau unit from your army makes an attack against the enemy unit that's just destroyed your unit, you can re-roll the whole hit roll. So pretty much Stompa kills one thing, which is going to kill one thing no matter what. At that point, now all of Tau gets to re-roll the whole hit roll, and if they're smart, they're going to, of course, be fishing for lethals, which is what they're going to get once they put a nice spotting marker on your Stompa, and then in that case, they just stack all the other offensive abilities from the other units, and hopefully blow your Stompa off the table if they get a chance. Or if they really don't feel like they can kill your Stompa, they can even, if you go take a flank with your Morkanaut or Gorkanaut, they can shoot those guys away too. But most of the time, they're going to shoot your Stompa away right away and then try to slowly dwindle down the rest of your guys. If your Stompa can survive with a couple wounds and get 2 firing phases off, you can win the matchup, I think. But if he doesn't, then you're gone. Of course, they can do focus fire here, which is they get another armor penetration. So for the first 3 battle rounds, which is where the Stompa matters most, you can go crazy and get killed by this kind of combination of hammerheads and everything else on that list. So that wouldn't surprise anybody. Just wanted to give that another shout out so you kind of have an idea of what is actually capable of killing a Stompa, because it can happen. And it's very much a stat check kind of list army. So that was his 5th matchup. And then as for his 6th matchup, right, I did that correctly, right? Make sure I messed that up. Yeah, no, make sure I messed that up. Oh wait, did I lie? Did I lie? No, I didn't. Okay, sorry. It was his 4th matchup that he lost, and it was against Tau. Okay, sorry guys. A lot of your games in that one. Yes. Okay. I was like, I did my homework on this, I swear. like I said, so in his 5th matchup, after he lost the Tau, he went into everybody's favorite screaming monks, the Sisters of. Oops, I lied. Damning. What am I lying again? Did I say Sisters? Yeah, that's the guy. Making sure I didn't mess that up. I don't know why I said Sisters. Sorry, guys. He went into Eldari, which is even better. So you had Artark Way Leaper, and the Avatar of Kane. Dude, imagine the Avatar of Kane's face when he sees the Stompa. Just straight up annihilating the Avatar. Death Jester, Farseer, Fugan, getting back up, Spearseer, Warlock, definitely going to be an MSU list. Guardian Defenders, a Falcon, some Howling Banshees, Shroud Runner, Scorpions, Swooping Hawks, Warp Spider, and then a Wraithguard Brick. This is just bad matchup for the Eldar. You know, they're trying to have a lot of stuff. They're trying to actually play the tough game with the Avatar and the Wraithguard. Of course, the Wraith cannons can go off and kill something like a Morkanaut, Gorkanaut, even, you know, put a threat to the Stompa. But getting close enough and then also being able to get off on it is one thing before you're just getting dwindled off the table and killed and shot to pieces by all the Orc firepower. And really, you can't let a Gorkanaut, Morkanaut just straight up walk towards you. So you're going to expose yourself as they run towards you. And then at that point, you know, the Stompa can really go off. So I really love to see that. Like his list said, the Eldar list was just 2 tough blobs, as he called it, and it wasn't tough enough. And then as for Brandon's last matchup, he put 100 points up into this get. It was against Robert Musty, which might be a real name, might be a fake name. I don't know, but I love it. He went into Death Guard. And we've seen this several times where Stompa actually works against Death Guard because they're very slow. And they don't have the long-range firepower to deal with you. So 2 Biologist Purifiers, a Death Guard Chaos Lord, Foul Blightsworn, Lord of Virulence, Malignant Plaguecaster, Tallyman Typhus, 1-2 Bricks of Plague Marines, followed by 2 5-man units of Plague Marines, triple Rhinos, Cultists, Death Rod Terminators, 3 Float Blows, and Nurglings. He's very much just hiding until you expose yourself, and then he's getting annihilated. You know, the infantry is really good against our infantry, being able to stack the -1, -2 to hit. Yeah, being Dreadbomb means you can actually counter this, getting reroll hits, even if they stealth you, smoke screen essentially. You know, Lord of Flies is one of their strats. Even if they use that against you and they try to hopefully get you in contagion range, it's simply not enough for their offensive output. They're really banking on lethals in this, and they don't have a ton of AP. There are ways they can get more, but it's usually simply not enough for one side of the table to deal with something that's straight up Titanic, like Gorkanauts, Morkanauts, and then a Stompa on top of that. So Brandon Deamer played the dream list of all you gets. He went all the way with the Dread Mob, going 4-2, using his Stompa to find victory, to find success in a very competitive meta out there. If you enjoyed the clip, check out the full video here. If you'd like to see more tactics, click here.
Let's get stuck in, lads!